If you would have started school the last time the Toyota 4Runner was all new, you'd now be graduating college. Yes, for the first time in 15 years, Toyota's body-on-frame SUV is all new, and it really does mean all new. A new platform, new engines, new transmission, new trims, you name it, the 4Runner has changed it. Although not quite everything. It still does have a power rear window. Because some things are sacred. So, if it's true that good things come to those who wait, is this the best thing to happen to off-roading in a decade and a half? Let's go find out. As Toyota tells it, this new shape both honors the 4Runner's history and aligns it closer to the Tacoma. In fact, from directly head-on, it's kind of hard to tell the two apart. The 4Runner's nose is cleaner, ditching the faux vent teardrops underneath the Tacoma's headlights. There's a big angular grille because of course there is, though the mesh, insert, and surrounding styling are all different depending on which of the myriad grades buyers select. There are no less than 9 trims in America. The SR5, the TRD Sport and TRD Sport Premium, the TRD Off-Road and Off-Road Premium, the Limited, the Platinum, the TRD Pro, and the Trailhunter. Now the TRD Pro and Trailhunter benefit from even wider fender flares for that cool squat look. Move around to the side and there's the familiar thick C, thin D pillar treatment, but the glass now wraps up into the roof just like the original 4Runner. Wheels range from 18s through to 20 inches and back down to 18s on the Pro and Trailhunter. The latter also features an exclusive color, the excellent Everest, which is a deep, dark turquoise. Alright, we're out on the road in the 4Runner, and of course, it's a lot different from before. It's a lot more refined and comfortable. Some people will refer to the old one as a dinosaur. In fact, even Toyota mentioned that in the morning presentation. And some people like that. Some people want that old, rugged feeling, but some people also like Vegemite or putting pineapple on pizza. For more people, I think they'll really appreciate the better manners that this has. So I am in a limited trim right now, and it has the hybrid powertrain, and it's just a lot quieter and easier to drive. I mean, it's not that the old one was hard, but it also just suffered from that ancient powertrain. So a 5-speed auto, not necessarily the greatest when you need to make a climb up a hill out here just south of San Diego. But if I put my foot to the floor, pick up speed pretty quickly in this. Now it is a second quicker to 60 miles per hour than the old model, and I know that drag racing is the furthest thing from the point of a 4Runner, but it's just about getting up to speed quickly and feeling comfortable in modern traffic or on hills, or if you're towing up to the 6,000 pounds that the 4Runner is capable of towing, 5,800 pounds in any hybrid models. It's got a smooth, light steering that's pretty accurate. I can see out of it pretty well. I know that there are the questions of, well, really, what's the difference between this and a Land Cruiser now that they're both on the same platform? And that is a valid question. The Land Cruiser does start a lot higher up in the price range. You're looking at, well, actually, right around the limited 4Runner for where the 4Runner, or sorry, the Land Cruiser just kicks off. But you're getting a lot of content in this limited model versus its spendy little sibling. What I like about this powertrain is that it still feels truckish without the negative aspects of that previous 4Runner. So it's a little grumbly and gravelly, but it has tons of torque low down. We're talking 465 pound-feet of torque from 1700 RPM. That's barely over idle. So that sounds great for when you're off-roading, but even on-road, it just means that I don't have to dig to get power. That old naturally aspirated V6 needed revs, and this just doesn't. It will also drive on nothing but electric power for short little bursts, but still, that contributes to slightly better fuel economy. Now, this being the Limited, it does have the adaptive suspension, and that creates a ride that's, well, actually, like, pretty darn comfy. I don't feel like I'm driving a body-on-frame. I'm not second-guessing myself in corners. It's windy in here. I hear a lot of wind noise. But beyond that, in terms of the weird oxymoron that is the most road-biased off-roader, this makes sense. People want that off-road ability in occasional situations, but to live with, the 4Runner is just a lot friendlier now. And it's a far shot more refined than something like a Jeep Wrangler. What notes do I have about the 8-speed auto? Not a whole lot, because it never seems to come up in the driving experience, good or bad. It's here. It does exactly what I need. I'm not noticing any sudden shifts. There's no lurching, no jerkiness. It's a really great transmission. Now, while there are jumps here at the high-speed course on the ranch that we're at for this drive event, Toyota has us bypassing them because we're on a later-in-the-week drive wave. It's too bad, since they were plenty of fun in the Tacoma last year. The rest of the course is a hoot. The TRD Pro features those trick Fox QS3 shocks with remote reservoirs, giving it an agility and adjustability that turns every run into a rally stage. Of all the trims, it's the TRD Pro that speaks to me. The steering just gets better the harder you push. Okay, now we are in the Trail Hunter. It's an all-new trim for 4Runner for 2025. We've already seen it on Tacoma, and guess what? It's basically the same recipe. Old man emu shocks, you have some chunky 33-inch all-terrain tires, you have a snorkel, which we might hear a little bit later as I get on the off-road course, and it is hybrid only. Let's get going. We're gonna do some rock climbing here, and I just want my front view camera so that I can see exactly where I'm going. Now, we are in 4 low, climbing over just a dried up riverbed. It's pretty rocky, but the Trail Hunter does it no problem. And then I've got quite a steep little hill that I have to climb to get out of here. There we go. Now, like the Tacoma, the 4Runner Trail Hunter, my brakes are a little squeaky. The 4Runner has stabilizer disconnect, so I'm just gonna do that for these uneven little yumps. Yeah, see, I have some squeaky brakes. Minor issue. Real slow. We're going a single mile per hour right now. Maybe there's a rock stuck in the brakes. Either way, I'm just gonna keep powering through. See? Just keeps going. It finds grip, and no trouble. No fuss. Having this front view camera, and the sides for that matter, just makes it that much easier to place the 4Runner. This is not something you could have done in the old model. It is very windy out, so see, now we're leaning a little bit, and wow, look at those winds just whipping up all the sand. Now, of course, the one advantage that the 4Runner has versus its pickup sibling is that it doesn't have a truck bed out back. So it has a little tighter overhangs, which make for, in that case, particularly better departure angles. It's just a tidy package. It's the right size for trails. It's really easy to maneuver. Oh, there are those squeaky brakes again. It's okay. Now, maybe we put the rear diff lock on just to get over these uneven left-right jumps, which also have some rocks just built into them, just for that added little challenge. So I'm just gonna stay straight, steady throttle. Nothing. This is not the most challenging course, and that's not really the point. It's just that this is more than what most people are ever going to experience in a 4Runner. Maybe not a trail hunter. You're buying that with the intention of actually going and doing the trails, and that's the thing, is that this just makes it easier. It's just a helping hand when you need it. And of course there's other advantages to the trail hunter too. You have a reinforced roof that can hold up to 750 pounds when stationary. So if you're going to be camping on the roof, it's not a problem. Alright, so again, this front-facing camera and the side cameras make it really helpful to avoid some sharper rocks. You want to keep those away from your vulnerable sidewalls. Now we just head up the hill. Now, as I was saying earlier, the 4Runner Trail Hunter is hybrid only, and I know that that might ruffle a few feathers. If you're overlanding, do you really want the added complication and weight of a hybrid system? And I get that argument. You could probably make a pretty significant overlanding machine by buying a base SR5 and then spending the significant money that the Trail Hunter normally costs to just build your own. I say do it, but the advantage of this hybrid system is, well, what batteries are so good at is tons of torque immediately. So when I'm climbing over rocks, I get access to that 465 pound-feet of torque basically just off idle. It makes it really easy to climb over, and Toyota has done such a good job with integrating the hybrid system with this 8-speed transmission. There's no jerkiness, you're never second-guessing exactly how much throttle you need to apply to get that power, to get over any sort of obstacle. It's very predictable. Alright, so we are heading downhill, and I'm just going to switch over to DAC roll control. And yeah, this slows us right down. Now, I am going 2 miles per hour, but of course I can speed that up by shifting this rotary dial. And now it is low. This is less than a mile per hour. This is, well, 1 kilometer an hour. We're gonna be here a while. Yeah, it goes up in single kilometer increments. You've got 5 to choose from. And like Toyota said, it is improved and much quieter. I'm not really hearing much of the system do its thing. I'm just slowly heading down the hill. Now at that lowest increment, it is very slightly jerky because it is such a low speed. But here, at this quickest speed, which is still a little shy of 3 miles per hour, yeah, it's very smooth. It's smoother than I could probably manage in terms of being on this rough terrain. Your foot might move forward and backward off the brake just a little bit. This is easy. All the models at this first drive event are pre-production prototypes, so a final verdict on the cabin quality will have to wait. Nonetheless, many of the materials match those in the Tacoma, no surprise there, and the architecture sure ain't changing. It's a certain step up from before, but lower trims still contain a whole lot of featureless black plastic. The TRD trims at least bring in some bright colors as a highlight, and the TRD Pro goes all in with available bright red seating. Now, no matter the trim, there are plenty of physical controls with satisfying clicks and twists. Yep, also like the Tacoma. Highlights include the multi-function rotary dial handling 4 high and 4 low, drive modes, and multi-terrain select, all depending on the situation. There's some good storage spots dotted throughout the cabin as well. Now I dig the comfy cloth seats of the base model. Other models swap in Softex or leather, which is swankier but no more comfortable. Now there's only one 3-row tester here, so while I haven't gotten a chance to fold myself into the way back, Toyota says it has carved out fractional increases, so I'm not expecting a big change. 3-row availability is again based on trim, and it is different between Canada and the US. In America, the basic 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5 lists for $42,220, including destination. Now that's a reasonable sticker price for the big leap forward in tech and refinement here. Move up to those tippy-toppy models like the TRD Pro and the Trailhunter, however, and you're clearing $68,000. Canadian pricing and trim availability is largely the same, though the Great White North skips the TRD Sport Premium. Pricing begins at $57,840 Canadian, including destination, rising all the way up to a collar-tugging $87,841 for the Trailhunter. Now, is it really the best thing to happen to off-roading in a decade and a half? No, probably not. But the 2025 Toyota 4Runner is a successful update on a formula that is basically a brand unto itself. There are so many trims for this because each one services a particular niche. It's matured, it's grown up, and that's great, but it still maintains that truckish, rugged feel that everyone really seemed to enjoy with the last one, while maintaining enough distance from its Land Cruiser sibling. The 2025 Toyota 4Runner successfully improves this recipe, and I'm sure based on this first drive, it could be just as successful in the last one, and maybe even as long-lasting.